Welcome back to One Glove Podcast. I'm Wonna.
I'm Zaff, and this is Stitch behind the keyboard.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So what's been happening this week?
This week, man, I have just been teaching myself a shitload about editing programs for like making vector graphics so we can make our
lovely sign. You made our lovely sign. I
new
like
logo.
The Neo
It's
neon thing.
It's pretty basic. It's probably going to be an updated version coming out. It's like a bit more flash, a bit more retro with a bit of neon effect in there.
I like it, man. I like your work, so keep that up.
Yeah. What about you, man? What's new with you this week?
I went to the dentist.
Yeah.
And are dentists doctors? Are they doctors?
They're technically doctors. I'm pretty sure they have like a doctor of dental medicine.
Fuck, mate, they kill it. They just must kill it so hard. So I go in, I'll call this lady up, and I was like making an appointment, and I said, hey, look, because I got a massive like hole in my tooth and I need a filling.
Yeah,
I know that I need a filling.
I got a few of those too. Yeah.
And so I call up and I say, okay, on average, how much does it cost to do a filling? And she goes, you can't quote it. I was like, until we have a look at it. So, well, just give me a rough estimate. What kind of money am I looking at? She goes, it could be anything between $100 and $400. And I was just like,
that's a really big variation.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like teeth don't vary that much in their size, right? You got the front teeth, which are like long and skinny.
Yeah. And
then you got the big molars in the back. There can't be that much of a difference to fill them.
I don't know, man. Like, I was just like, okay, between 1 and 400, cool as. So I go on and like they go, have you been quoted for an X-ray? And I'm like going, what? An X-ray? He's like, no, I'm just having a consultation. Like, you may need an X-ray while they're setting up the X-ray.
So they've already started the process. Yeah.
They've preempted the X-ray.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? Like, I'm getting gypped, eh? And it's like, oh yeah. Takes a look in my mouth. Oh, we need an X-ray. It's like, fuck, you think? And he's just like, pops this thing in my mouth, and it's like the X-ray takes like, 2 seconds or some shit like that. The technology, amazing. And so he goes away, comes back, and he goes, see this here, you need two fillings and all this. Oh, you need this as well. Oh, you could use a clean. Do you want to take advantage of this? And then he was saying, you know how they give you the ultimatum if you don't get it fixed, this
is the end result.
So the ultimatum was, if you don't get it fixed now, you could need a root canal.
Yeah. Which is not cheap.
And it was like a $1,200 or some shit like that.
I think that's just for the root canal as well. Not for that, like capping it with that extra shit.
Well, he just mentioned root canal.
Yeah.
And like then he's like going on about, you need this, you need this, you need this. And I looked at the total thing and it's almost like $1,200 anyway. It's like, you motherfucker. It's like, you just fucking trying to
happen to have it end up as $1,200 anyways, yeah.
The final price for the fillings was $400. It's like, it's so convenient. It's like the lady said, it's going to be between $100 and $400, and it's going to cost me $460. I was like, how fucking convenient is that? Motherfucker. Hey, Stitch, right? Yeah. You agree with me, Stitch? Yeah, fucking A. Like this dent, mate, like it's just like, it's so dismissive as well. You're going to need this and this. We should do this. And I'm like, fuck, you should be a used car salesman, man. Like you don't need to be fixing teeth.
He's just trying to sell you like, not necessarily things that you really need to do, but like.
Well, I think he was trying to back me in a corner. It's like,
that's a bit. I don't know, but I agree with that.
I was thinking about kicking him in the leg because he had a Gumby leg. It's like, fuck.
Wouldn't make it worse.
It's like, fuck.
In regards to like dental pain is probably the most severe pain that I've ever felt. My back left tooth on the top, I actually had to have it ripped out like 2 years ago now. And they actually kind of gave me a similar ultimatum of, it's either you get a root canal because whatever bacteria or something has, attacked the roots of your tooth, or, you can rip it out. And they're like, ideally we don't want to rip it out because it changes like the integrity of your jaw and all that kind of stuff. But I was like,
does it though?
It almost definitely does. But
okay.
You're pulling out bone, you know what I mean? But my thing is, I was like, how much is it going to cost for the root canal? And they're like, minimum $1,000, but then you got to get a veneer on top to make sure it seals properly.
What's a veneer?
It's like the cap that they put on, like to seal the hole up, basically, right? So you don't get food in there and whatever. So all that, it can come up to like $2,500 or something like that, right? And I was like, well, how much is it going to cost to get my tooth ripped out? And they're like $300 or $200 to get ripped out. And I was like, I need to think about it, because they're like, we ideally want to save the tooth, you know, for the integrity of your mouth and everything. So I went back home, and at that point in time, it was only like mildly hurting, and it was concerning, but it wasn't like really that bad. And then within 24 hours, it was the middle of the night. I was screaming into a pillow, hoping to pass out from the pain that I was getting from the tooth, because it just escalated really quickly. Yeah. So I was like sucking on fucking ice blocks because it would stop the pain for about 5 seconds. As soon as the cold went away, just shot back the pain.
So the cold numbs it?
Numbs it for like 5 seconds, but then it came back with a vengeance. Oh. And so I called up and I was like, this is an emergency. We need to take out the tooth. That's it. I don't give a fuck. If it can't survive in my mouth, I'm taking the fucker out. Like, I don't care. So I go in and he's like, are you sure? I was like, I can't afford $2,500 fucking last second to. Yeah.
They held you to ransom.
Yeah. And so I got it ripped out and no pain afterwards. They're like, oh, you might feel some discomfort and some pain because you got a hole in the top of your mouth, basically. I was like, cool. The dentist brings me up like 2 hours later. He's like, how you feeling? I'm like, I feel fine. No, nothing. There's no pain, nothing at all. Getting a tooth ripped out. Have you had one ripped out before?
Yeah.
It's a weird sound. It's the sound of a tree getting ripped out of the ground, right?
When I got mine ripped out, I was like sedated.
Oh, you were sedated?
Yeah.
No, I was like, I'll just take the local, right?
Yeah.
That initially was a mistake because apparently I am one of the few people, or maybe not few, but there's not as many people who have the extra facial nerve coming up, or extra branch coming up.
So it gets better and better.
Gets better and better. So I had to have, instead of like 1 or 2, I need to have like 3 or 4 needles of like local anesthetic to numb it. And then also apparently I have large nerves that run through my teeth.
Holy shit.
Whether that makes it more painful or not, I don't know. But dental pain has definitely been the most significant pain I've felt.
So what are you sporting now? Is it just a gap?
It's just a hole in my tooth, man. I just like to keep things in there, store it for later.
Nice.
You know?
Oh, so your tooth is still there?
Nah.
There's just a gap?
It's just a gap now.
Whoa.
Yeah. But, it's one of those... So I've asked the dentist. It's probably the same one that you went to, right? Because I think it was the guy with... If I
mention them, will we get in trouble or something?
Yeah, let's not mention names, right? But...
And Helensvale.
I was asking him, hey, is there like a genetic like component to like bad teeth? Because like both my brothers and my mum, we actually we take care of our teeth. We brush regularly.
Yeah.
Every day, twice a day or once a day at least. And I was like super pedantic about my teeth growing up because I had braces and I was like, I'm like, my parents are paying so much money to fix up my teeth. Yeah. I'm not going to like squander that money. So I always took care of my teeth, but all of us, we hit like 25 and that's when our teeth just go downhill. Like they get cracked or they have a hole in it, a huge hole in it, regardless of having like the dental care stuff that you get in high school.
You got dental care in high school?
Oh yeah, high school and primary school. It was kind of
we got it in primary.
It was like year 8 and 9. I think you still
What's year 8 again?
When you're like 13 years old.
Third form.
Yeah, third form. Goddamn Kiwis and your forms and your standards and your.
This is just an old school.
That's an old thing.
They use years now in New Zealand.
Oh, that's good. That makes sense.
Don't know how they're talking.
Yeah, man. Like we all have like those bad teeth. My dad, perfect teeth, doesn't really take care of them, but his teeth are like perfect. But my mum, same thing. Her teeth like snap off and break. Apparently, she has short roots, and I was like, "There's got to be a genetic component to bad teeth, right?"
So you asked him about it?
Yeah, and he's like, "Nah, there's no genetic." I was like, "I don't know, man. Like, I'm really curious. Like, oh yeah, Stitch,
you punching
looking
it
up?
Stitch? Yeah. What did he say?
we'll see what she comes up with. But basically, yeah, he's like, nah, there's no genetic component. And I'm pretty sure it's the same guy who fucked you off. Because you came in yesterday to do some editing and you were fuming, man. I could not get anything through to you. You were just like, I just want to punch something right now, man. I can't believe it was a 10-minute consultation.
Well, I've got another thing against dentists as well. And not all dentists. And I'm going to go into some kind of serious shit that happened to me here and my family. Now, I can't prove whether the toothache that my mum had was connected with the cancer that she got, but it just seemed so fucking convenient, right? So, like, one day my mum went to the dentist and she had a tooth removed, and the guy stuffed it with gorse. Or something like that, some kind of packing, some kind of filling. I don't know why he did it. Now, I think he packed it too much.
Yeah.
She said, now my mum's she's a cardiac care nurse. She was a cardiac care nurse. So she's got an idea of medical procedures to an extent, you know. Yeah. So he's packing all this stuff in the gap where he's removed the tooth, you know. And then she comes home and she's just in the most fucking excruciating pain, and it's not going away. So much so that her face starts swelling up. Her face starts swelling up around so was it on the right side? Right side? Yeah. I think it was on the right side. And then her nose started just like puffing out. You know?
Yeah.
This never happened before.
Like just within like 24 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like so much she was like crying in bed. My mum never cries.
Yeah.
She's a hard bitch. She's fucking hard. She never cried, but she was in that much pain. She was crying her eyes out, you know. And it's like, holy shit. Long story short, like the swelling got so bad, she removed the gorse, a massive infection.
Oh. And
then all of a sudden there's a tumor in her nose where the swelling was.
Oh man, I don't know. That's hard to say if it's connected. It can't be that quick. Like, I don't think.
I mean, it wasn't like in 2 days she's got a tumor in it.
Yeah.
So I mean, this like the swelling came up within a couple of days. It was like an excruciating pain, but like it was over like a month or so, and or maybe a little bit longer, and then all of a sudden the swelling got so much and it wasn't going down. Went to the doctors and say, "Oh, you've got a tumor."
It could have been one of those things where the tumor was already there, but the act of pulling the tooth out and stuffing it has aggravated it, and it's just gone, fuck this, I'm getting attacked, and it goes full ball, like tries to take over. Because that's like the melanomas, right? Yeah. They can, for a while, remain self-contained. But if you try to cut it out and you've missed some of it or you've nicked some of it while you're trying to take out like the area around it, it can feel like it kind of
almost like it's like conscious.
Yeah, it's like goes into like a defense mode. It's like, oh, cool, I'm just gonna start spreading because I don't want to be like taken out of like the the ecosystem of your body. But yeah, that's full on, man.
Yeah, I mean, I know dentists aren't, they're fucking all good, but all the rest of it. But like this guy just seemed a bit like, just blasé to everything. Oh, it's all right, it'll be fine, and all the rest of it. And then, oh fuck, all of a sudden, massive tumor in my mum's nose. And it's like, oh, you prick. Like,
yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and blame him and all the rest of it, but it was just like the catalyst that set things off.
Yeah, and now you know what I mean? This kind of thing for dentists.
It's like I want to punch you, square in your fart box.
Right in your fart box.
And
did you find anything, Stitch?
Just perusing quickly.
Colgate.
Yeah. But they reference the University of Pittsburgh School of Dental Medicine, who identified that some cause of tooth decay, gum disease, or other things could be your genetics.
All right, so there is some kind of genetic aspect, possibly.
And other sites suggested a large portion of the condition of your teeth is nurture element, so it is what you do to your teeth, what you eat,
sing it a
how
lullaby,
you take care of them, but you cannot rule out the genetic components that relate to,
I will say
the enamel,
probably the food that my mum made, even though it's super, super, super delicious growing up, may not have been the best for teeth because, they would have had
hush your mouth.
Okay.
You hush your mouth.
Okay. No.
Don't you ever talk like that ever again? Don't you talk?
It's definitely not the food that my mum made.
Don't you dare speak out about your mother's food.
Speaking of food, man. So this past weekend was Stitch's brother's 30th birthday. And for the 30th, they were doing a spit roast, which is like a rotisserie.
I know what a spit roast is.
Okay. I just thought you're going to think it's the other type of spit roast, I'm
not, okay, my mind's not that dirty. Maybe
it's not that dirty. But
dirty.
basically, they bought 15 kilos of meat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And because the spit roast is half owned by me and someone else, I was like, all right, cool, I'll come over. I'll help you set it up and everything. I'll do the fire and everything for you and take care of it. Man, it's such a involved process. I kind of forgot because it takes 6 hours to cook the meat, especially like 15 kilos of meat or whatever it was.
But that's the best kind.
It's a lot
Slow
of meat.
cooking.
And
tender love and care.
And so I had to get there. I got there like 10:30. Took me about 40 minutes to start this fire. And
why did it take you 40 minutes to start a fire?
Because it was gale force winds, man. Like, no matter where we put it around the house, there was just insane wind coming through on the weekend. I don't know if you noticed. You probably were inside all day sleeping.
The quails.
No, like the cyclone. What's it called? What's it called? Cyclone
Hurricane?
off the coast of.
Oh, there's a cyclone? No, that makes sense. Can you look up what cyclone was on the edge of
on the coast of Australia somewhere? There we were.
That would explain why it was windy.
Yeah,
because every like bin in the street was blown over. They also have like a little cage, it's like a 8-foot cage for their guinea fowl, which are like,
what's a guinea fowl?
They're kind of like chickens, but they're cooler because they I think they like eat all the insects around the area, and they're also really good for the grass and all that kind of shit.
Are they delicious?
I don't know.
Can you eat them?
You probably could.
Yeah. No,
but it blew over
quail
their like enclosure. And it's like a metal enclosure, which is at least like 40 kilos.
Ooh.
So this thing is like some serious wind, and I'm trying to make a fire in the middle of this thing. I get the fire going, we chuck on the meat, and literally taking like from 11:40 is when I put it on to 5:30 it has to cook. But you have to come in every 20 minutes or so to make sure the fire hasn't gone out because the gale force winds. And it's like constant, and it's like,
gotta work.
Man, I remember growing up, and we used to do like lovos, which in like,
what's a lovo?
A lovo is like a hangi, I guess you would say, from like, Samoa or NZ.
The Samoa, they call it umu.
Umu. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's another name, but basically, like the ground oven thing where you dig up the ground, you chuck in a bunch of river rocks, and you make it really hot.
Yes.
For like an hour. I remember doing that like when we were kids, and it takes like an hour for the rocks to get to the right temperature. And then you just chuck a bunch of dirt and banana leaves and more dirt and whatever on top, and you leave it for 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
That seems so much better than having to do the spit roast, because like the spit roast, just you can't just leave it. Right?
Yeah,
you have to keep on going back and checking on it. You stare at the fire like a dickhead for like, 5 minutes. Oh yeah. That looks good. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. I'm just looking at a fire going, that seems hot enough.
Oh
yeah, Stitch, what you got there?
That looks like a umu.
That looks more like, that's a bit different to the way we do it in Fiji.
Umu's in Samoa, they heat the rocks and they put the food on top of the rocks, and then more rocks on top of the food.
Yeah.
They can actually dig a pit.
This, though.
Yeah, but that's a very shallow. They're doing more like a teepee style.
That looks very umu-ish.
Yeah. So that's a bit different. So the way we did it when I was growing up is we actually dig like a 4-5 foot hole in the ground, and then you put the fire in there and get it really hot and line it. All right, you can switch off that video now. And it was kind of can't watch too many.
I'm getting too
many
hungry.
minutes. Yeah. But yeah, man, I kind of want to do a lovo again, because it's less involved after you put in the food, and you get to dig it up, and then you come out with like these beautifully cooked veggies and meat and palasami and.
I don't fuck the veggies, man. I just want the meat.
I want the meat. The lamb. Oh my god, my mum makes the best lamb for the Lord. Like the way she spices it and stuff, it's the best, man.
Spices.
But yeah,
you just spice it up, put it in. So like, does she wrap the lamb in anything, or you just
like no? She like makes like almost like a marinade. She makes her own kind of marinade for it and like puts it all over it and wraps it in foil.
Fuck yeah!
And then she puts it into the thing.
That sounds fucking dope.
But yeah,
so like the Gale Force winds were like proving too strong.
Actually,
for their dirty old spit roast, did it come out all delicious?
It came out perfect, dude.
Yeah,
it came out perfect, regardless of the fact of the wind. So what we did is like we made like a windshield with bins and a car, because you know we had to block quite a bit of wind, and it kind of reduced it a little bit, but there's still quite a bit of wind, but it was fine. We made it hot enough so it wasn't an issue. But I can see what Stitch is bringing up now. So
was that
on the topic of spit roasting meat?
Meat, so delicious meat.
Yeah, delicious meat. So PETA and a bunch of vegans have actually caused a bit of an issue recently because it's just PETA.
Who's PETA?
PETA is like a protection agency for animals. They're in America, and they actually come under fire every now and then because they say some pretty outlandish allegations in terms of like how animals are mistreated. Like some of the things that they've actually said are true, and like how like chickens are kept like really like
in a little cage. Yeah.
So that stuff kind of comes true, but the most recent thing that's happened is they were talking shit about Steve Irwin on his Memorial Day, saying that
it was his birthday.
Was it his birthday?
It was his birthday, and Google did a Google Doodle. I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
So the banner that they have for Google changes to commemorate some things, and I think it was like his birthday or something.
That's an insult to Australia.
And they
pretty much is.
How dare you, PETA?
They posted a tweet.
What's it read? Steve Irwin was killed while harassing a ray. He dangled his baby while feeding a crocodile and wrestled wild animals who were minding their own business.
Oh, fuck off.
Okay. I would say like he did wrestle some animals, but
he was he was removing them from fucking, you know what I mean?
He was like one of the reasons for like the main proponents or one of the main people who were pushing for like conservation of animals and species, and like he made you understand why certain things were dangerous, why things were safe, how you should treat animals, and like what to do in situations.
Okay, put it this way: where all the salties hang out, all the saltwater crocodiles, Northern Australia, Northern Queensland.
Okay,
so you're in your house, you got a pool, wake up, go for a morning dip, and there's a giant fucking croc in your pool. You're going to call one of these PETA cunts to come and get it out?
No, I don't think they're going to help you, man.
Come over, mate. There's a massive crocodile in my pool. Can you help me get it out?
Yeah.
What do you think? They go, maybe you should ask it.
Steve Irwin when he was alive.
You get a fucking balls to the wall cunt like Steve Irwin, and you go, yeah, man, I got you.
He got you.
I fucking got you.
And you know what he told me? If you tape their mouths shut, they can't open it.
Dude, he had his own way of fucking wrangling like crocodiles. Like, you know, he invented his own way.
Yeah, he figured it out.
So it was less stressful for the crocs. And
it
was
a smart dude, man.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and you know how a lot of people get a noose and like they kind of chuck it over their neck and then they go into a death roll or some shit like that.
I never knew that was
like some like some
people do it when they
do it like that. They get it like, you know, that long pole and they have a noose on it and they'll chuck it around the neck and then the crocodile goes spastic and starts fucking death rolling.
Yeah.
Well, Steve Irwin had a way where he could like he'll chuck something over its eyes.
Yeah.
And it kind of calmed it down. And then with people power, he could like, I remember people power. And like they'll all like jump on it. Like so they'll all pin it down and then they'll tape the mouth shut. But they kept the
The
cloth over its eyes, and that kind of kept
chill it
it
out a bit
calm.
more.
It would keep it calm.
That's interesting.
So,
I never knew that.
these PETA pricks don't know what the fuck they're going on about. Steve Irwin is a treasure.
He's a treasure.
He's a treasure.
What's that? You the same thing?
Dickheads.
Yeah, just people's responses.
Oh, what are they saying?
Overwhelmingly against PETA.
Yeah, because they're
That's
fuck. They don't know.
no
They're
surprise. Yeah.
fucking assholes. They're vegans. Are they vegans? Are they?
PETA's vegan.
PETA would have to be
No,
vegan.
PETA.
Like the
PETA endorses a vegan lifestyle.
yeah.
What a dick.
It's not a guy. It's a company. It's like an organization.
What a bunch of dicks.
A bunch of
Part of the reason.
Yeah. You know
So
that,
this is
but
someone's
can you
quote.
read it out? I can barely see it from here.
So basically, people are accusing them of doing this for marketing purposes, dragging the name through the mud, so that people will talk about them, and so that they will get recognition.
Oh, they're trolling. Is that it?
It's a
Trolling?
marketing tactic.
yeah.
You know the Gillette ad?
Oh yeah. Which one?
Yeah. The most recent one, guys will be guys thing. You
No,
remember
Boys
that?
will be
no,
boys.
no,
No.
Boys will be
no.
boys, yeah.
Basically, it's men take control of your men.
Of your boys
Like,
or your sons,
it's
basically. Like
Toxic
what?
masculinity.
Yeah.
Gillette has taken on toxic masculinity.
yeah, that's their new thing in the most recent ad.
I've never seen it.
They you can bring it up if you want, but basically, the ad is like a whole bunch of things of like boys acting boisterously. Some things, they're being a little bit much, but it's kind of like, in a way, just like attacking boys for just being boys, and saying that it's always because like men are setting bad examples for the boys. But it's just like,
Oh, fuck off.
I don't know, man. I don't
you
know if it's
serious?
that simple. Things aren't that simple.
When has everyone gotten so fucking
All right, let's
precious?
just listen to it for a second. Chuck on the audio.
Is this the best a man can get? Is it?
Clearly, Childish Gambino's
Yeah.
video, that's what that part there was,
Oh yeah.
where he's getting chased through the car park, I think it is.
Okay.
Oh, that's a bit of an influence there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't hide from it.
Sexual harassment is taking over.
Oh,
It's been
fuck.
going on
And
far
you know what
too
I
long.
find interesting is they're referencing like super old ads and stuff, and like you have to understand back then stuff like this was
Actually, think she's trying to say.
Making the same
more
old
normal.
excuses.
Boys will be boys.
So
Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys.
But something
you have to understand like things change like with time. Like people know you're not meant to act in that way anymore, and that basically what they're doing is trying to say, oh, we're a company and we think we're gonna tell you how to act. Like they're trying to say this is how you should act. But if you go back and you look at some of those Gillette ads, they're not the best example of not being like
Not following the
misogynistic.
trend,
yeah.
yeah.
They
They're not part of the patriarchy.
Yeah.
They're a part of the solution.
but they're almost
We
definitely a
believe
part
in
of the
the
problem
best
if that's
in
what they're
Men need to hold other men accountable.
that yeah.
Come on.
to say
They're taking legitimate pieces of advocates for social change, like Terry Crews, and they're trying to put it into their own context of buy our fucking
motherfucker.
razor.
Yeah.
Like, Terry Crews did a speech where he talked about his experience with domestic violence. His father used to abuse
His mother, yeah.
Yeah. And he gave a really emotional speech about men,
Yeah.
but in the context, they've taken it out of the context and tried to push it into their own context.
Where's all
and
the
their
good
own
stuff
agenda.
about guys? What fucking.
say the
I don't know,
right
man.
thing.
It's kind of funny. The moment you start talking about like good stuff about guys, oh, you can turn that thing off now. Yeah, the good stuff about guys and
Just watch the end of it. Just watch the end of it.
Some already are. In ways big
Yo, men, for everyone.
and small.
I am strong.
But some is not enough.
It's not how we treat each other, okay?
The only thing is with this is breaking up human aggression.
Yeah.
This is trying to say as if here, men are the only ones who are responsible for taking part in the violence, and they're the ones that should be responsible for breaking up the violence. But the thing is, statistically, if you try and involve yourself in an altercation, the danger you put yourself in is
It goes through the roof, yeah.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is like,
men are not the only perpetrators of things. And there's this bandwagon thing happening. You know, when the girl got murdered in Melbourne or whatever it was, she was raped and murdered. Everyone jumped on this bandwagon of slapping this label on men, calling out toxic masculinity, saying, men, teach your boys to stop raping women. As if males are the only perpetrators.
So, didn't know there was a school for that.
yeah. Also, I'm sure if someone's a rapist, you going, stop raping. They're not going to be like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was meant to not do that.
Sorry, I was doing something wrong.
But it's just disgusting. It's accusing an entire gender of perpetuating this, and there's something really, really wrong with.
Yeah.
Because the boys.
You know how you're like, oh, where's all the
So this is the end of the ad.
Yeah.
The best a man can get is our bloody razors. This is the
a long
best
ass
a man
ad,
can
man,
get.
just for some razors.
Because
Fuck, that reminds me of the Thai commercials. They fucking, they'll be like, have this massive emotional fucking, like, it'll send you crying if you watch one.
Oh, it's like a movie.
No, yeah, it's like this whole massive thing, and you get sucked in, and then at the end it's like, get insurance.
Yeah.
Get this insurance.
Yeah, like when it comes to like the positive stuff about men and all that kind of stuff, the moment you start trying to bring that stuff up, you get labeled as a men's rights activist. Have you ever, you know what that is?
No, it's like a feminist, but like
it's
on
it's
the
kind of
other
like
side.
feminist but guys, but it's kind of been like pushed to like the extremes in some cases where they it's one of those things. It's like the equivalent of those very, very extreme feminists, but it's for guys, where they kind of just say, oh, guys have all these problems too, but they don't, like, people realize, oh, maybe they don't realize that like both genders can have problems at the same time. They think,
in how many relationships is the female the main source of the conflict? They've actually published studies wherein the males may be more likely to perpetrate physical violence, but men, like females, are the perpetrators of emotional abuse.
oh, and
I've been in a few of those.
oh, really?
Emotionally abused.
Well, think about
Do you feel
how
sorry for me?
By like, I don't know.
Do you feel sorry for me?
It depends, man. How bad did it get?
Like actually, I didn't eat right for like a month.
Well, that's bad.
The only thing I could hold down was up and goes.
It actually got that bad? Was it an ex-partner?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
What? How did they like emotionally abuse you? If you don't mind, like bringing it up.
I mean, it was like it's kind of like you didn't know where you stood with things, like, you know, and I was constantly walking on eggshells. Because like she would come home and like you just don't know what kind of mood she's in. You just like and as opposed to like getting into an argument and a fight, I was just like, oh fuck,
Just don't want to deal with it.
just don't want to fucking deal with it, mate.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever felt like that.
But it hasn't like, you know, that's only, it's happened like a couple times.
With like a couple of different partners, you mean?
Yeah,
or-
different partners. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to kind of steer away from that kind of,
that kind of
that personality.
individual, personality.
Yeah.
I remember either watching or hearing something about one way that chicks can be abusive or like psychologically abusive even is what they do is like during sex, they will ride your dick in a way that will make it very likely for you to break your dick. So they'll like ride it so they're coming partially off and slamming back down.
You can break your dick,
You can break your dick. But
it's no bones in there.
there's cartilage. You know how you can break your nose and there's cartilage in your nose? Same thing, man. So you
There's
can,
cartilage in your dick?
yeah, man. I'm pretty sure it's called the cavernosa or something. There's two different like cavernosa within your dick. Can you just are we looking at diagrams of penises? Is that what's about to happen? Yeah. And you can actually break your dick. You have to go and get like you have to have like a cast around it in a way, or like a splint.
Whoa.
To make sure it oh look, there's a dick pic for you, man. Your daily dick pic. But yeah, you can definitely break your dick. It's like breaking your nose, like the cartilage in your nose, not necessarily the bone.
Whoa.
But yeah, man, like if you keep panning away too hard.
What person in their right mind would want to break someone's dick?
Well, it's just an abusive partner.
That's some angry sex.
Oh.
The sudden tearing of the sheath, basically that allows erections and things, is the same as popping a balloon with a prick of a pin. Blood rushes through a tiny opening to the surface of the penis.
Stop reading. Stop reading.
Oh
No.
my gosh.
And in a very real sense, the penis
reading.
explodes in the area of the tear.
No, let's not.
There's an explosion, man. There's an explosion.
Stop reading. That's painful.
Oh man.
That's so cringy.
Yeah.
My toes are curling right now.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, but that's what I mean. Like that. There's definitely ways in which like females and stuff can abuse males, but they're obviously not the same ways. We're not the same as females. So,
but essentially, like where we get to this is marketing campaigns that shit on something to get spoken about and increase their outreach. Because the Gillette commercial, everyone was talking about it. About 1-2 months ago, whenever it came out, everybody was talking about it. And everyone had hot blood and wanted to dislike the video.
Actually, yeah, I think they disabled the dislikes and likes on it.
People were watching it, and their dislikes and their comments were getting removed.
Yeah, it was unusual. Like people would say, this is really shitty for whatever reason, and they'd go back and their comment was removed.
How long ago was this commercial aired?
Oh man, it must have been like maybe a month and a half ago. It was definitely in 2019.
Man, I never even heard of
Man,
that.
if you're addicted to YouTube as much as I am, which you apparently are, you should have seen
Addicted
it.
to what?
YouTube.
Man, I love YouTube. I love me YouTube.
But
I'm
yeah,
like,
man, how long ago was that?
January 14th.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a month and a half ago, roughly. Yeah.
Wow.
But it's interesting. It will be interesting to see whether it has any implications for their sales, because a shit ton of men in particular
Could
have
damage
said
them.
that they will not buy Gillette now.
Honestly,
because they are attacking men.
do you want my honest opinion? It's by now, no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
People are just gonna be like, no, fuck it. I'm just gonna buy this brand because it's the same brand that I always use, and I don't really want to change it. I don't really care. It's an ad.
No.
Like, it's one of those things where it's past. Like people just don't care. Like,
And it's like with PETA. PETA has enraged everyone. Everyone's talking about PETA, looking through all their marketing stuff, trying to scour for their outrage,
yeah,
find sources for their outrage, and then at the end, they'll have all this shit in their feed about PETA, and they'll keep getting reminded about PETA, just not about this particular issue, and their outrage they'll find something else to be outraged about. And this thing will just be, present.
It's a continuous circle.
yeah.
It's a circle of.
But you cannot attack Steve Irwin.
You cannot attack. That's going
too far.
That's going below the
That's
belt.
a national symbol,
He's an icon.
and and he's respected throughout the world.
I mean,
He did so much
He's
good.
like David Attenborough.
Yeah,
Imagine
man.
going against like David Attenborough saying, because he was in the environments of the animals while he was doing his documentaries,
I'm pretty
he
sure
was just
David Attenborough has come under fire.
David
what
Attenborough.
for having a majestic voice.
Yeah. On the what is it? On the coast of Australia. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh my god!
I used to watch that dude when I was a kid, man. Like, we used to have this thing called Our World in New Zealand, and like,
I think we had the same thing here. Yeah,
bro, he was on it almost every weekend. We used to
I learned most of my stuff,
dude,
about animals.
I know heaps about snakes because of that program.
Man, don't even talk to me about snakes.
Why? What's wrong
My
with snakes?
brother, he's kind of like me in a way Well, I'm more like him, I guess, in some ways, because he's my older brother. He's like 10 years older than me, right? And he gets like obsessed about things. And then he went through a period where he wanted to breed snakes. So literally every conversation that you have with him.
He wanted to breed snakes.
Yeah. Yeah, like, but he wanted to do like ball pythons, but you can't get that in Australia.
A what python?
A ball python, BALL.
Well, okay, what's that?
It's a python that just has, it's a type of python, but they have a really big variation in the colors that can come out.
Oh, okay.
So they have like a big swing in their genetics for colors.
Oh, okay.
But you can't really get them in Australia, so they had to do a different type of python that he wanted to breed in Australia. So every conversation that he had with everyone was regards to pythons. So, or just snakes in general. So it kind of became a running joke that if you're talking about my brother, you'd just be like, snakes, snakes, snakes. Because that's all you would ever hear. Snakes, snakes, snakes. But what do you got there? Why do you have penguins up there?
It was the top feed for David Attenborough.
Oh, okay.
I have a question for you guys. When wildlife documentaries are being filmed, what do you think the position for film crews is on intervention in regards to what they're filming? Should they intervene?
No.
Traditionally, no. But apparently a film crew from the latest wildlife series fronted by David Attenborough, they assisted penguins when they found they were trapped in a gully. And this is...
See, that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a smidge different.
I thought like if there was a bear attacking a seal, I'm going to leave that bear alone, number one, because
it's a bear.
It's a fuck me up type of thing. And also they need to eat.
Yeah.
So that's just their thing.
But this is a situation where it would be a waste.
Yeah.
But they...
How long ago was this?
November 19th, 2018.
Oh, so it's not too old.
They decided to help the trapped penguins. But usually the paradigm is a crew does not make...
my leg. I can't feel my legs. Bubba, because they ain't there. You had two little bloody stuff. Kick around real fast like this. Goddamn,
we're back. I'm pretty sure we lost some footage there, but that's
Pour
fine.
a drink for yourself.
Oh, yes. Pour a
Just
drink,
to
right.
recover, pour a drink.
Yeah.
What is this? This stuff? What is this stuff?
This is like chocolate liqueur.
What's it called?
Sambrino. Oh, no, it's Sambarino.
Sambarino.
Yeah, and we actually got it from WA when we were over there. This stuff is like, I think there's so much chocolate in it that you can't put it in the fridge, otherwise it will solidify like chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it gives you a bit of a kick.
Actually, I had some of this yesterday, right?
Yeah.
This stuff, yeah, it does kick you in the face. But it's not one of those pussy kind of like Bailey's kind of thing.
Nah, it's not really a pussy Bailey's thing.
Chin chin.
That's probably
that. Whoa, that's heaps, man.
Yeah, well, you know, lost
Look
footage
at
is
that.
lost footage.
Look at that.
Oh,
liquidy chocolate, and it's going to kick me square in the testicles. Oh, yeah. Really clears your nostrils.
Oh, it's like wasabi, you know? But
Really chocolate wasabi. I love it. What is that called again? Sambarino.
Yeah.
Sambarino chocolate liqueur.
Oh,
Fantastic. Dark chocolate, silky smooth. Oh, loving that. That's really good.
yeah. Just give me another sip.
Oh, really fumey as well. God bless you, Steve Irwin. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Oh, damn.
Oh,
I'm going to be shooting the nose.
That went the wrong way. God bless you, Steve Irwin, wherever you may be.
Ah, man.
Wrestling those crocodiles up in heaven. Oh, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to keep that right there with me.
Oh, man.
Far out. So is his legacy still intact?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to be forever intact, man.
You can't go against someone like Steve Irwin. Like he made the word crikey famous worldwide. Even Australian Americans, they're like crikey, you know.
It's that
Steve
cliche
Irwin.
thing that they say to Aussie people
It
when they.
replaced shrimp on the Barbie.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like,
dude.
crikey, Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, fucking A.
But yeah, man, I
Love Steve Irwin.
I actually wanted to talk to you about like what was it like kind of growing up back home in NZ, because I remember in our previous conversations we've actually talked about like some kind of racism that you've gone through, like a significant amount of racism back in NZ, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Racism is everywhere. Like, I mean, like New Zealand is known as a kind of a tolerant kind of country and whatnot, but there's racism there. Like, I mean, like with even growing up, being half, well, I'm only half Samoan,
Yeah.
and I'm just regular Kiwi, like a Caucasian Kiwi.
Yeah.
But I copped a bit of shit from the Samoans as well. They would like say things like balangi and like, you know, and they'll like make some
Which just
sly
means like
comments.
white boy, right? Or white.
But I don't know if it's a derogatory term, but like the way you say
the
like
tone that they
the
say
tone
it
you
in.
take
Yeah.
when you say balangi, you like,
Yeah.
you know, or they'll call you plastic, and then on the other side, you
They
know,
call you- so plastic is what, like you're fake? Is that what they,
yeah, like a
fake islander? Is that what they mean by
It's
it? Or?
so funny because you have like New Zealand-born Samoans, like, you know, technically they're full-blooded Samoans, but they're born in New Zealand.
Yeah.
They'll come up to someone like me and like, not always, but like I have encountered this before and say, oh, you're plastic because you're only half.
That's such an unusual thing to
It's
say.
like, you're not a real Samoan. But like these Samoans will go back to Samoa and they'll be like, fuck, like the ones born in Samoa, like, you're not really Samoan.
You're not really
You
Samoan.
can't speak Samoan.
Yeah.
The fuck?
You don't know the culture.
You don't know the culture. You've
Yeah.
got an idea of the culture, but you don't know the culture.
That's pretty much the, like, I have a rough idea, a very rough idea of like island culture, right? Because I come from like a weird intermediary kind of position of like a Fijian Indian like background, which is mostly Indian, right? So but we have like some islander influence in our family, and then
Does your religion or your former religion that plays a role in like in the Fijian Indian society?
yeah, because like quite a lot of like Fijian Indians are actually Muslims. So that was like a big part of their culture over there. And, you know, like quite a few of them came over to here and New Zealand, some to America, some to Canada during the period where there was like a lot of coups. Right.
What's up with Canada, dude?
I don't know.
I know heaps of Indians, like Fijian Indians and Indians that go to Canada.
I don't know why it was Canada. Maybe they were like, I want something cold and white. Healthcare. The free healthcare. That's probably it. Yeah. Because they know their money.
And guns.
And maybe guns.
Guns?
You reckon guns?
Canada doesn't have any guns. It's Canada.
Canada has guns.
No, they don't have any guns. They're friendly,
Maybe. I've heard some things about Canada, man. One of our friends, actually, she used to work at the same company that we worked at, and
It's not Australia.
yeah, and when she's born in Canada, so when she was over there, her first partner got shot on the way home.
In Canada.
Yeah. And her second partner, a year later, who was the best friend of
First
partner.
So he shot and died.
Yeah, shot and died.
Yeah.
And then the second one got stabbed to death
In front of her.
in front of her. And she got stabbed as well, but she didn't die. So I think it's just one of those things where like there's violent places no matter where you go. And there's violent regions wherever you go.
Yeah, like
But
up the road here, someone got shot.
Yeah. Like that was like a month ago. Like just down the road.
Hold on. Someone got shot.
Someone got shot in the foot and hit with like some blunt force kind of thing to their head. Because I was coming home and there were cop cars everywhere, like 15 cop cars
And you were like, it's Logan.
And I was like, yeah, it's Logan. There's something's going down. Like someone's been shot or stabbed or something. And then it comes up on the news, some dude's got shot in the foot. And it was by someone he knew. Shot in the foot and hit in the head. And they couldn't find the dude.
I didn't kill him, so I just fucking hit him in the head. Ah, my foot.
Maybe it's the other thing. Like I hit him in the head, and I want to shoot him, but I don't want to kill him, so I shot him in the foot.
Fuck, I didn't really want to kill you. I just want to meme
I just want to really fucking hurt you.
I just want you to know that
And it
I'm
was someone that he knew as well, which
okay.
that's actually like I think it is like a good percentage of like
Incidents.
like
Was it
incidents.
racist?
I don't know, man.
Because that's what we're talking about, racism.
Oh yeah, racism.
Was he being racist? I don't like your foot. Bang.
Foot's too dark.
Foot's too, well, it could have been light. I mean, dark people can be racist as well. Samoans, like I'm not saying all Samoans, but like I've had experiences
Yeah.
with Samoans, then they're like, oh, you know, they would look at me a little bit differently because I'm not full Samoan,
Yeah.
you know, and I'll be like, oh, you're not.
I don't know. That kind of issue in terms of racism, I've heard from my parents, like back in Fiji was pretty bad. It's actually why the coups happen.
You got the Fijian Indians get it
Yeah.
when they have Indians.
Yeah.
My
and
Fijian
also-
Indian mates.
And
Yeah.
Fijians, right? Because here's the thing. This is the way my parents explained it to me. The reason why the coups happened is the Fijians were ruling the government. Shit wasn't getting done.
Yeah.
So there was a coup of some sort or change in leadership, and like a Fijian Indian person would get in and they get up and they start like making things run better, but they'd also be corrupt. And then the Fijians don't like that there's too much power in the hold, like in the hold of someone who's not native. So they'll have a coup and then disrupt the government,
And
put their
destroy
own,
everything they've done.
yeah, just
That
destroy
was,
the progress.
that was early 2000s, wasn't it?
Yeah, early
It's
2000s,
for a
early
long
like
time.
like my parents came over in 1987, because my brother was 5 when he came over. So that was back then, but I think there was actually coups before and after that within a very close period.
Fijians are fucking big people, man.
Yeah,
They
you get some short
huge.
ones though too, but like
But they're fucking
they're tanky, man.
they're
They're
tanky
just
as,
tanky people.
I was over there. I've been over to Fiji a few times, man, and I've loved it every time I've got. Like I've been to three Fijian Indian weddings.
I've
always been on the groom side, but
they've always been fun.
they've always been fun. But like you always like me and my mate, we were like we're in Suva and we're just like looking for like a place to work out, you know, just to like you need some exercise. There's no Muay Thai over there, so well a gym, you know, let's go to a gym. You know, my mate likes going to the gym, so like maybe you can teach me some about weights. Fuck, every weight, every dumbbell, every fucking plate. It's like Fijian weights, not like regular weights.
There's no regulated.
Like fucking the curl, the what do you call those things?
Curling bar.
No, the little
Dumbbells.
Yeah, those things. They started at 20
kilos.
20 kilos and went up.
Was that starting point?
That's the starting
That's
point.
hilarious,
The
man.
and like, there's this dude, right? He wasn't Fijian. He looked Tongan, because he was very light skinned and he's like, or lighter skinned. And this dude was like 2 of me wide, right? And I'm just watching him, and he gets up to this 40 kg dumbbell, and he's just like fucking, like he's just charging it like there's like nothing. He's just like going like that. And I had to wait. I was like, fuck, check this dude out, mate. And like I was looking at him, man, check this dude out. I'm like, holy shit, you know. And like I waited for him to leave, and he put the weight down. I was like, fucking went on up, grabbed it, like what up?
Couldn't even.
I got one. I was like, boom.
Yeah.
Dropped it like
One
I
and
was like,
done, huh?
holy shit. But the people were like giant, like they're massive.
They're strong people.
Massive
That's
people.
what I find. Like Islanders, Polynesians, man, they're just naturally strong.
Fijians are different, bro. They're a different kind of big and strong. They're real like
they're lean, strong.
They're lean, but like they're like, oh my god! Like there was this one time I was walking around Suva at night, had no business being there.
Yeah,
no business being there. I just needed to get out of the house. I was fucking just walking down the main strip of Suva, and like there's all these like kind of like
Of Suva?
Suva, yeah,
as my parents are from.
Prostitutes. There was prostitutes around.
That's why his parents are from there. His dad.
So
his dad.
I'm walking down the main street, and there's this old school government building, and out of nowhere pops these 2 girls, and like in the distance, and I'm like, holy shit! And they got like this sequency,
scantily clad-ish.
Yeah,
kind
Tina
of
Turner looking. That's
Oh,
how I
right.
describe it. Was
Tina
Tina Turner.
Turner.
And then I'm walking closer and I'm like, fuck, those chicks are pretty big. You know, they're like, oh, they're pretty massive, you know, like
Yeah.
and like get a bit closer, like, well, these shoulders are really defined, man. Like, man, they got some massive traps on them, bro. Like, oh, their lats are fucking, oh, there's some nice definition in the tricep area. Hey, oh. And then I realized I get closer and they're like, hey, and like, oh, it sounded like a man. It was a man. It was like, in Samoa, they call them fafafines.
like cross-dressers.
Cross-dressers, yeah. But like, it was like, holy shit. And like, these two were massive.
You know, that's the interesting thing I find about island culture. They're really accepting of like gay, cross-dressing kind of people. But
well, I mean, the thing is, like, I can't speak for other island cultures, but I do know a little bit in regards to fafafine. Fafafine is like, it's like to be better than a woman or something. I think that's what the term means. Like, if you're going to act like a woman, they will treat you like a woman. Like so they don't see them as men
dressing as women.
They say like, if you want to be, I will treat you like a woman. So
that's like very
you will
progressive.
You will be expected, if you're going to act like that, you'll be expected to take the roles of a typical Samoan woman.
So the childcare, the cooking, the housework.
So yeah, that kind of stuff, you know. And well, anyways, like the whole thing is like these big Fijian, if they wanted to, man, they could have held me down and have their wicked way with me if they wanted to.
But would you say no?
Yes.
Yes, you would say no.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I've been training for a while, but I don't think I'd be able to fight them off, bro. They were like, they look really,
man, they can take a hit too, huh?
They can look like they could run a few paddock lengths and like, you know, they've chucked a
Francis
few.
Ngannou's of Fiji.
Jeez, man, like they look massive. The only like they had rugby socks for tits. Like they had no like, because they got no implants, so they just got a bra, stuffed a rugby sock down there.
Yeah,
like, it's like,
so I'm a chick. Yeah,
hey, I'm a chick. Hey, you want to go out with me?
Hey,
I'm
you'd be
like,
like-
you're a dude. Like,
no, I'd be like, yeah, you're a chick. Don't hit me.
well, I was like, but the only thing, like, this is my go-to thing, and like, oh, where are you from? It's like, I'm from Brazil. I don't speak English. Like, and they're like, hey, Ronaldo. I was like, oh shit. And like, I'm trying to walk past because like, if you freak out, it's like, oh, fuck you, they'll probably bash me, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I don't speak English. Oh, later. And like, just try to make my way
Weird how
through.
you can be accepting of that one thing and then be very racist on the other side of things. You know what I mean? Like,
How am I racist?
not you.
Oh, not me. Okay.
I meant island culture. Like,
well, I don't know.
It's a weird in
Everybody-
between.
Every race
Like,
has a demographic in that race that is racist.
yeah.
Racism
Actually-
is universal.
Like Indian
Actually,
people, man.
I'm gonna say it was New Zealand-born Samoans that I had main issues with, not Samoan.
I will say,
Samoans.
Fijian Indians, man, they're some of the most judgmental people I know. They will judge you in every which way they can. Like, you know, it's funny because they seem real chill, like Fijian Indians, right?
Yeah,
But
my
some
mates
of-
are
Yes. See, it might be my generation that's more chill.
a shield. I'm talking about you
Yeah. Yeah.
and Ranil, you dog. I mean, you're. Yeah.
Yeah, you dog. My parents' generation, like, I see how they like react to other cultures, and man, they're pretty judgmental. They're just as racist as some other racist cultures.
Well, are they being-
some Australians?
Are you saying judgmental or they're like racist? Like, there's a difference between judgmental.
They
and
make
being
judgments based on race, like
okay.
the typical things, you know, like Asians are bad drivers. Like
My missus like has a go at Asians for bad driving. She's Chinese.
well, okay, maybe that's
She
just
goes,
a
oh,
thing.
fucking Asians.
Maybe it's just a thing then. Maybe
But
that's just
she
a fact.
can't talk. She almost ran an Asian dude over at a pedestrian at Harbour Town.
No, that's just almost like
It's like, babe,
poetic.
and I was like, babe, you're so racist.
It's so racist.
So racist.
Oh man, I don't
I
know.
didn't see him. I was like, how the fuck did you not see him? He's walking across the pedestrian. We're supposed to stop.
Yeah.
It's kind of what a pedestrian is. So they can walk. He's like, fuck. And it's like, babe, what are you doing? And it's the Asian dude, hey, what are you doing? Holy shit.
And they just call each other fucking Asians.
Well, yeah, she's like, fucking Asians, like,
You were meant to stop.
you were meant to stop.
Yeah.
Like,
Ah man.
sorry, babe.
But yeah,
That stuff is kicking my face in.
Yeah, I know, man. Every time I take a sip, it's fucking me up.
The fumes.
Zaff promised to tell you a story as well.
Oh, yeah.
Something about cheese.
Something about cheese. So my brothers and Rhiannon, some of my missus and stuff, they love to laugh about this particular story. So I'm not sure if you can tell, but I'm fairly introverted, and it was in full effect. And yeah, I am. It was in full effect.
I've seen you at the Christmas party. You were not introverted.
Yeah,
That is
but
not normal.
that's not normal because I've had a few drinks. I've warmed up and had some social lubrication.
We've worked together. You haven't been introverted. We've worked together heaps of times. You haven't been introverted.
See, introverted as in like one-on-one, I'm fine, but you put me into a group and I'm like, oh, I really don't know what to do in this particular situation. When I was a kid, that was in full effect. So my auntie described to me one day how I was when I was a kid, right? And apparently I used to sit there at like, what, you know, when everyone's sitting in a circle talking to each other, I would just sit there and listen for like ages, like hours almost. And if someone asked me a question, I would answer that one particular question and nothing else.
And in the most direct way possible.
That's it. But I am my like most introverted moments were like when I was required to speak on the phone. I cannot speak on the phone for shit when I was a kid. Not so bad now considering it was my job, you know, a few months ago. But
speaking on a phone.
Speaking on the phone. So I don't know what happened, but the moment I was told to speak on the phone, it's like a block just came into my brain and the words wouldn't come out of my mouth. So one day, like, you know how we got pizza for dinner, right?
Yeah.
So one day my brothers, they asked me to order the pizza because they know that I get fucked up on the phone, right? So
brothers.
I'm like, no, you just order the pizza because I know that I get fucked up on the phone. So no, they pressure me into doing it. I pick up the phone. The guy answers on the other side.
Gold.
And all I say legitimately is cheese pizza. That's it. And then I hand the phone over to my brothers like, what do I do now? I don't know what to do. Same thing when I was in year 12 and I was doing MMA.
You just said cheese pizza.
Cheese
pizza?
And then that's it. I didn't know what to do after that. But I know that I'm meant to be like, hey, I want to place an order for cheese pizza. I want to get it delivered or whatever. I can do that, right? But
what if you wrote it down and you read it?
I don't know if I can just write it down and it'll work. I've actually never tried that. But that was like when I was in year 9, like 14 years old, right? That happened.
Whoa.
When I was in year 12, it was still happening because I was doing MMA then, right? And I remember I was training one night and I had like my MMA gloves for when we were sparring and stuff. And I'd left them on like the mats when we were doing like the jiu-jitsu side of things, right? And I on the way home remembered that I'd left them on the mats. So I was like, I don't want anyone to take him. I need to call up and ask him to like hold him for me.
I need to call up.
So
Did you call up cheese pizza?
No, it wasn't that bad.
Hey.
But I actually called up and I just went, I left my gloves there and then handed over my phone to like, I don't know what to say from now. I didn't go, hey, I was training there last night. I left my gloves in this corner. Can you keep a hold on them for me? I just went.
You didn't even say your name.
No name, no identification. And the chick on the phone just goes, yeah, they'll be fine where they were. Just grab them tomorrow. Like,
So
she knew what I meant.
Did you know
But all I said was, I left my gloves there. But I don't see. This is the one
It's
thing.
adorable.
Fuck off.
He's got another one too.
I don't remember the fucking
His dog hurt his leg
yeah.
and they made him call up the vet and they sat there like this.
They waited for it. They know that I'm just incapable of talking on the phone at this point in my life. Like,
That's a bit cruel, man.
this is how bad it was. When I was in primary school, I had a tutor and part of one of my lessons every week was how do we talk on the phone?
What?
It got that bad, man. I was socially retarded, for lack of a better word. But here's the thing. Being a tech, right? Like being a sleep technician, which is, what what I used to do, what you still kind of do. It forced me to like be able to build a relationship with a patient really quickly to get their confidence and get, the medical history that I needed to get out of them. And like just be able to communicate like exactly what I wanted. So I couldn't be socially like inept anymore. I had to be like on point. And because I had to be, and it wasn't just like it's my brother's messing with me, I started getting on point with it. Like now I'm fine with talking on the phone. That's not an issue anymore. I still don't like talking on the phone.
How did it feel? Like were you just like, you pick up the phone and you're like,
I just froze. It's like my brain.
Scared? You were scared or?
Oh yeah, some of it was definitely fear.
Of what?
Like I was very, very into like, I didn't like getting embarrassed as a kid, which most kids don't like. But I also was...
It was a daily ritual for me.
Yeah. And I also always, as a kid, looked for approval from like my elders, from my brothers, anyone around me. So I would say something and I would look to someone to see what their reaction was and if it was their approval. And so that kind of like came through. And like if I'm talking on the phone and there's just too much information coming in, like I'm still looking for approval for what I'm saying from the people I'm looking at. I'm trying to make sure what I'm saying on the phone is the right thing. I'm trying to listen to what they're trying to say back to me on the phone. So there was like, I think I just had too much information floating and I just froze the fuck up. So I was the same with like public speaking, like speaking in front of the class and doing like speeches in school.
Yeah.
I literally in year 9 or 10, I think it was, I had to do a speech and I believe it was for like a religious studies subject. And I had written out the speech and everything, memorized it to the T at home and everything. Mm-hmm. I go up there, I get 5 words in, I freeze completely, can't say a word, start tearing up and just walk out of the class.
Whoa, really?
I just couldn't handle it. Whoa. And I was like, whoa, that's it. I'm out. I can't handle it. And I walked the fuck out. And my teacher was like, I get it. I understand it's tough. So she's like, you can just do it in front of me. That was pretty cool though.
Yeah.
Still nervous as fuck though. There's it's something weird about being judged about what you're saying. Like not like on an assignment basis. So when I was in university, I used to do like study groups with people and I used to teach them what I knew. Because I had a bit of a head start because I transferred degrees. So when it came to like biological psychology, when you're just learning about parts of the eye and all that kind of shit, I already knew that shit. So I was teaching it to them and I was fine teaching in that kind of way where I'm in front of everyone teaching it and you're my peers. So I know that like we're on an equal playing ground.
Yeah.
The moment you're like, you're going to be assessed on how well you can tell me this information. I just freeze. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about it, but that's it. All right. Yeah.
It kind of reminds me like, cause I never used to be comfortable with speaking in public, as well. Like I had exactly the same situation with you. Third form English, we had to do, what's year?
How old are you?
13.
13's year 8.
Year 8, okay. Year 8 English. So you do speeches and my teacher was cool enough to say, oh, you can just do it in front of me too.
Yeah.
You know? But what really cracked it for me was capoeira. Because you have to sing.
Oh, really?
You have to sing.
Oh, because it's like a dancing martial art type thing, right?
You have to sing in another language.
Oh, true.
And like,
I didn't even think about that.
So all the songs are call and response, you know? And like, so there will be a lead guy, usually the guy in charge or a senior student. They'll start singing a song, and then he'll make a call, and everyone has to respond. You know, and it's a certain response, and everybody has to sing, and even that was a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah,
but when you got masters and instructor guests coming over, they expect you to know some shit. Like you expect to know a couple of songs and at least know how to lead a game.
Man, that's
so
fun.
I remember this one time we're all sitting in a circle and like no one knew what we were doing, and the master came out and you can't say no to the master, and he started singing a song, He goes, now you. And he goes, everyone, he went around the whole circle, sing a song. Don't care if it's the same one, sing a song, sing a song, sing a song. And like, you're like, holy shit. And all eyes are on you.
You know, I don't know if I'd be able to handle that. Like,
but it's like, I mean, it's intense, but it's like kind of chucking you in the deep end.
Yeah.
But like, at the same time, they're not going to ridicule you for it. And like, there was a few times I mispronounced words. And like, and then they would stop me and say, oh no, and they would sing it to you. They would sing it to you in front of everyone. And like, it kind of took away the whole, everyone's watching me. And it was just you and the master. And he'll be teaching you a song and like, and everyone sing, and then you'll get it right.
I had a very different experience growing up when it came to like reciting things. So, I used to come from like a religious family, right? And part of that was to go to the mosque and learn how to read Arabic.
Arabic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Quran's in Arabic. And you had to learn all the, like the prayers and stuff that were in it. But Arabic's a hard thing to learn, number one. So I was learning it at, whatever, I guess a normal pace. But what you had to do is you'd be all in a room reading it and learning it and reciting it. But you had to go to like the imam, which was like the person who would be
The what?
The imam.
Is that a teacher?
Yeah, the teacher.
Imam.
Yeah, like the priest almost, right?
How do you say it?
Imam.
Imam.
Yeah,
Imam.
I-M-A-M.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, imam.
Imam.
And you'd go there and you'd actually have to like recite it to them. But
Just them?
just them, but you'd still be in front of the class, but you'd be face to face with the imam. And I used to avoid going up there to recite it because I was like, socially awkward.
Yeah.
But if you didn't go up to recite it, he would come up behind you when you weren't looking and get his sandal and smack you across the back of the head with it. So, yeah, you either had to go
Sunday
up,
school.
but if you went up to him and you messed it up, you got smacked as well. So it's a lose-lose situation. So that's like one of the things of like why I kind of came away from the religion as well. It's just like that kind of mentality. Didn't want that part of my life, but that's definitely what contributed to my social awkwardness. Because when I was doing
you should just come to Capoeira with me.
Oh yeah, 15 years ago.
Yeah,
when I was 10 years old.
You're 10 years old.
Yeah, because you're 85 years old.
Yeah,
yeah.
You should have just come.
Yeah, I should have just come then.
No excuses.
Yeah.
You should have just come over.
Still sperm in my dad's ball sack. I should have just
What's stopping you?
He should have just come.
Yeah, I should have just come.
What's stopping?
No,
What's stopping?
he should have just come.
Yeah. It's stopping you. All I hear is excuses.
Oh, yeah.
Zaff has 3 catchphrases from his brothers from this experience. Cheese pizza. I left my gloves there. And my dog has a sore leg.
Let's go.
These are all true. Yeah.
I'm never going to let you down about this, big guy.
Man, I thought I got away because it's been like 4 years or 3 years since anyone's brought that up. And the moment you said cheese pizza when you brought over the pizza tonight.
Yeah, your face changed,
My
man.
face changed because she was staring at me like, I want to tell him. Am I allowed to? And I was like, nah, we'll talk about it later.
Good on you, Stitch.
My dog has a sore leg was when his dog had been hit by a car a few months previously, right?
Yeah.
Jimbo Balls.
Yeah, Jimbo Balls, because he had the biggest testicles on any dog I've ever seen.
Jimbo Balls.
His balls were so big, right? He would
stick out.
sit down, right, in a way where his balls would just levitate the tiniest bit above the ground because the ground was either too hot or too cold. Or he would sit down in a way slightly sideways so his balls would rest on his legs.
Yeah, he's looking after his balls.
Yeah, those things were obnoxiously large. They were offensive to look at. That's how big they were. But
I wish I could have seen it.
Yeah, he got hit by a car, messed up his legs, messed up his hips or whatever. He hurt his hip, and my brothers are like, "You got to call up the vet because we need to book an appointment."
That's a little bit cruel on
cruel,
your brother's part because you love the dog.
But it's still
you
funny.
love the dog
But
and
the
his big
thing
balls.
is, the way that you learn is by doing.
See,
yeah,
their method, if you put it in psychological terms, was flooding, which is I'm just gonna bombard you with the fucking thing that you hate doing, and then you'll learn.
You're gonna do it. We're gonna chuck you in the deep end.
Right. It's
Going
old
in
school
deep.
methods of you don't need to like work your way up, and you don't just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Which I kind of do respect in some way, even though like as a kid I was like, that's pretty full on. Like I don't know how you can like.
No, but it's your dog.
Yeah,
The pizza thing and calling up the MMA school, that's funny.
Yeah,
But your
the
dog's
dog
hurt.
still got looked at though in the end, so it
My
doesn't
dog's
matter.
balls are hurt?
No.
No.
My dog
I
cheats.
called up and I was like, my dog's got a sore leg, and then hand over my phone again because they don't know what to say from there. I don't know. Like,
Did they take it? Did the brothers take the phone?
nah. Oh, they took it eventually, but like they'll wait a few seconds at least before they take it. You know,
cruel.
that moment of just cruelty.
Cruelty.
But you know, like
Without that training, you wouldn't be the phone operator you are today.
exactly the best phone operator there is. I actually had a lady call
Sex
up
hotline. What?
and was crying from the get-go about her husband not having done a sleep study because it was so bad it was keeping her awake and everything.
Snoring.
Yeah, it was snoring, sleep apnea. She thought he was
Stop
dying in
breathing.
his sleep, all that kind of stuff. She was crying from the get-go. By the end of the phone call, she's thanking me. That's how fucking good I was.
Did you look back on your life and go, thank you, brothers, for tormenting me?
Nah. Nah.
Motherfuckers.
Nah, I
Fucking
thank
assholes.
myself for being a technician and getting good at what I was getting good at. The psych did teach me like how to talk to people.
Who?
Psychology.
Oh, psychology.
Yeah, and you know that hat that you're wearing?
Yes.
I got that.
That's your
for-
hat,
That's my
by the
hat
way.
for
It's tickling my forehead.
oh yeah, I'll tickle your forehead.
Yeah, he'll tickle your ball sack. That's what he'll do.
But yeah, man. What was it like for you? Like your siblings or your parents and stuff growing up? Like
I was a prick to my younger brother. My older brother was a prick to me. My parents never believed anything I said. I was the black sheep.
yeah, the black
Black sheep
sheep
of the family.
rainbow sheep now, I guess.
Yeah. If something went wrong in the house, it was always my fault. You know, 9 times out of 10, it was my fault.
Yeah, I can believe that.
I
You
was a
being
bit of
you,
a tutu.
Tutu.
Tutu means like a you play around with things you shouldn't. Like if you
Fiddler, yeah.
if you fiddle with things that you shouldn't fiddle with. Like
Yeah.
I blew myself halfway across the kitchen when I was a kid because I was trying to make a cup of tea. But what I did is like when I was too small, I had to climb up onto the bench.
Yeah.
And I was trying to hold myself and fill up the jug at the same time, and the water was going everywhere. Fucking went all over the plug. Popped it into the thing. Boom! Fucking went flying across
shit. That explains a
flying
lot.
across the kitchen. Yeah, I know. Fucking hit the floor. Like just sprung to my feet and went running to mum and dad's room.
Oh shit!
I got bit by the fucking thing, and they're like, "What?" And it's like, "I tried to make a cup of tea for you," and then I got a hiding for being so stupid. Like, you fucking
that
idiot! And I was
sounds,
like,
that sounds about right.
so they told me not to play around with the kettle. They told me not to do it,
and you did it
but I
anyways.
did it. So that's the definition of a tutu. A tutu.
Right? Yeah,
Tutu
that's
fingers.
it's kind of like me and my brothers, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anything I did, it was like, well, anything that went wrong, like first thing, oh, Mona must have done it. Fucking,
Yeah.
you know, or there's a giant burn mark in the lawn.
Mona must have
Mona
done.
must have done it.
Yeah.
And
Like,
bring it to a close.
oh, we're finishing up now?
I think we're coming up to an hour. Yeah.
An hour and a half.
An hour and a half. wow.
Holy shit, hour and a
Wow,
half.
We're steaming by. All right.
Oh, man.
So yeah. You're
In short, I got blamed for everything. My older brother was the saint and he could fucking do no wrong. And my younger brother is a spawn of Satan. And everyone thinks that he can't do any wrong.
oh okay.
So,
No, there you go.
The
Yeah.
youngest being the spawn of Satan is a tradition.
on the,
I was the youngest. He is the youngest.
On the whole thing of being like tutu is that what you call it?
Tutu
Yeah.
fingers.
Some things you can only learn yourself. So just one quick memory of when I was a kid and how destructive my brothers and I were, or particularly myself. My brother was a year and a half older than me. One day someone told us if you put a wheelbarrow over a fire, you'll put the fire out because it starts with oxygen. which makes sense now.
Makes sense.
But we were like, how do you know if the fire is out if you can't see the fire? And
Dirty
then
fingers.
if you lift up the wheelbarrow, it's gonna, come back alive because there's oxygen again.
Yeah.
So we're like, you know what? Why don't we just touch the wheelbarrow,
Oh,
right, and see what it's like? So my brother touches a wheelbarrow and his hands turn to plastic. And I go,
Whoa.
that doesn't seem right. I touched the wheelbarrow.
Whoa.
My hands turned to plastic. So that feels
that's Tutu fingers.
like a Tutu fingers kind of moment.
And
Yeah.
then you set the backyard on fire.
That's a whole nother story. You set a whole 2 acres on fire.
fuck, my mate set his backyard on fire by trying to kill a toad.
Oh,
He doused it with fucking like petrol
Petrol?
and shit and lit it on fire and it hopped into the thing and
oh
then
man,
everything.
we
This
can't
can
we
be the
can't say
subject-
that because Peter's gonna get on our back.
Oh, Peter.
This could be
Oh,
the
shit.
subject of the next podcast.
Yeah,
Pyromaniac antics.
Pyromaniac antics.
yeah. For the next one. Alrighty. Well, we'll bring it to a close. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. This is the One Glove Podcast. Always wear a glove.
Yeah, if you're going to make love, wear a glove.
Wear a glove.
Chlamydia is terrible.
I'm Zaff.
I don't know.
This
I'm
is
Mona.
Mona. That's Stitch behind the camera. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.